The original is always better. Lots of people will say that. If you're talking about songs, movies, TV shows, anytime anything gets remade or covered or reimagined, you'll have a lot of people who view the original version nostalgically, and they'll say that's the best. Automatically, that's the best. Anything that comes after, no. And sometimes that's fair enough. Sometimes that's true, but not always. Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about fragrance flankers that are, in my opinion, better than the original. Yes, very controversial, very sacrilegious. Let's jump into it and check these out. Now, first off, we're going to talk about an Issey Miyake fragrance. It is Nuit d'Issey Noir Argent. And really, I feel like in the Nuit d'Issey line, most, if not all, but at least most of the Nuit d'Issey flankers are better than the very first Nuit d'Issey. Now, like I said, maybe not all. There are some that you could have an argument about, like Blue Astral maybe doesn't scratch your itch quite as well as the original, but a lot of them take that Nuit d'Issey DNA, a lot of the flankers, and they improve on it in one way or another. So this one has myrrh, olibanum, saffron, leather. It's got that little bit of an incensey feel that you would expect from Nuit d'Issey fragrances. The quality is through the roof for what you can pick this up for, and really that's kind of par for the course with Issey Miyake fragrances for cool weather. A lot of times those things just smell sick for the amount you pay for them. But yeah, Nuit d'Issey Noir Argent, this thing is amazing in the evening in cool weather. And for me, it is above the original just across the board in terms of quality, smoothness, blend, everything. That's the way to go. The next fragrance I'm going to mention here does not really share a huge amount with the original. The original is this kind of metallic, fresh, some people would say shower jelly sort of scent, whereas this one is a bit creamier and has an aquatic touch to it. It is Chrome Pure from Azzaro. There's mandarin orange in here, there's mate, there's the aforementioned aquatic note, there's tonka in here as well, so that's going to give you some of that creamy sweetness. That sounds weird. Who wants a little creamy sweetness? This one's a little bit different than your more typical spring and summertime scent because it does have that mate. It's got that tonka right there in the forefront. And a lot of times with tonka scents, those are going to be more for evening wear. They're going to be more for cool weather a lot of times, at least when we're talking about the tonka being right there in the front. I really do like Chrome Pure a lot, but it did have to grow on me a little bit. When I first smelled it, I was a little iffy on it, gave it more wear, and came around to really love this stuff. I would also say Chrome Aqua is much better than the original Chrome as well. All that being said, as far as just the impact that the fragrance has had on the whole, the original Chrome crushes Chrome Pure and Chrome Aqua. It's a much bigger fragrance overall, but Chrome Pure and Chrome Aqua to me smell better. Up next, Gentleman Eau de Parfum, way better than the Eau de Toilette. Vanilla, Orris, Tolu Balsam, and Tonka. This stuff knocks my socks off every time I smell it. I just absolutely love it. Now, if you don't like iris-based fragrances, maybe it wouldn't be for you. It's not the same as Dior Homme Intense. It's not the same as Valentino Uomo Intense, but the iris is more similar in here than it is in something like Prada L'Homme. I've said this before, but just in case you've never smelled this, but you have smelled one of those, you have a better idea of which way the fragrance leans. Dark, it's gentlemanly, it's attention grabbing, the performance is good. Gentleman Eau de Parfum is well blended. It's just a killer scent. You can wear this on a date, you can wear it formally, you can wear it to the office, wear it during the day just because it rocks that hard. Gentleman Eau de Toilette is maybe not as bad as some people would say. I mean, some people really hate that, but for me, the Eau de Parfum is just so much better. It's not even a competition. All right, next up, we're gonna do a little BLEU fragrance. Now, the original version of this is like Azzaro Chrome, a big time release. Crazy amounts of people have worn it. It's been a signature scent for so many guys, a big time gym scent, sports scent, and I don't like it. It's got a cucumber note in there that I just really think is cheap smelling. I think the whole thing just smells cheap, if I'm honest. This one though, much better. So I can't say much. And it's much more modern as well. It's POLO Deep Blue PARFUM. Mango, C-note, cypress, and citrus. This thing a little bit similar to the original Polo Blue, so the DNA is here. If you like that fragrance when you smell this one, you should be able to pick up some of that DNA in here. Some people also have found a similarity between this and Acqua di Gio Profondo, which is a fragrance that I like very much. So in a way, again, kind of a dumbed down way of thinking, but you could think of this like Polo Blue melding together with a bit of that Acqua di Gio Profondo. A very nice, not overly sweet aquatic fragrance with great versatility. Deep blue parfum, much better than the original. Now we're gonna go with a fragrance that is really hard to find in the US. Yeah, you can find it online, a few different stores. Hopefully I'll be able to find one that has it in stock, and I'll link it down below. I'll link all of these below, but assuming I can find this, I'll put it down there. It's L'Homme Ideal Extreme from Guerlain. This has almond, tobacco, plum, cinnamon, and leather. And even though the original is a really good fragrance, L'Homme Ideal Eau de Toilette, I like that. I like that stuff a lot. And it's way easier to find. I would take this one pretty much every time. You can draw a direct line from the original Eau de Toilette to Extreme, but here the focus is more so on that plum, that tobacco with backing warmth and sweet spice. And then you have that creamy almond that really ties it together with every other fragrance in the line. Unfortunately, I don't know when or if it's ever gonna become easily found at US discounters. So that's really the big drawback for that one. A lot of people haven't been able to test it, wear it, but trust me, that stuff is great. Next fragrance, it's from The Scent. Now you would think that it's the Scent Private Accord. It's my personal favorite, but actually it's the Scent Absolute. This has vetiver, maninka, and ginger. It's an improvement over the original in pretty much all facets. The original, The Scent, for me is kind of low man on the totem pole. And then you've got the Scent Intense, which is better than the original, the Scent Private Accord, my personal favorite, and the Scent Absolute. And both of those are up kind of kings of the mountain, the Scent Absolute and Private Accord. And then Pure Accord is, we won't talk about that one. One thing that I've always loved about the scent, especially basically from Intense on, is that maninka. It really sets this apart. When you smell it, you immediately know, oh, that's the scent. You know, it's got a very specific DNA, and for the most part, they stay true to that. And it's something that maybe the first time you smell it, you might think to yourself, that's a bit different. Is that really gonna work? And the vetiver in here is fantastic at giving it a little bit of a classier, more grown-up edge. Works really well. Now we're talking about this big old ugly bottle right here. This is the ugliest bottle of the bunch. Don't care what anybody says. Invictus Victory, my mutated 200 milliliter Peyton Manning's forehead bottle. Let's go. Again, shout out Peyton Manning. Love you, dog. #1. This one's got vanilla, tonka, amber, lavender, pink pepper. And for me, this is the best Invictus so far. It's my favorite one, and it's also the least Invictus-y of all the Invictus fragrances. So there's that. This one is really, really pleasant. It's got this sparkly sort of sweetness to it. It is reminiscent vaguely to fragrances like Pure Excess, also from Paco Rabanne, Bad Boy, Code Absolute, a number of other fragrances. So it's kind of like a Frankenstein's monster of those, but it's a Frankenstein's monster that smells nice. So for me, I'm taking Victory 10 times out of 10 over the original. You know, the original just doesn't seem to work for me, but I know for a lot of you out there it does. Next, a little PASHA de Cartier, and this is Parfum. And it's supposed to look like the little thing on the side of the watch. I forget what it's called. You know, the little dial, and you turn it on the watch. Somebody's gonna hit me up in the comments, let me know what that's called. Sandalwood, balsam fir, benzoin, touch of booze in here as well. It does have that DNA of PASHA de Cartier, the original, in here. You can pick it up immediately from the atomizer as soon as you spray it on. So it's got this great kind of gentlemanly, mature, very grown up vibe to it, very classy, smells high end. But here it's modernized a little bit, given additional depth, additional warmth. And I think it just does everything the original does, but better. Of course, not everyone will agree with that. Some people are gonna like the original with its more traditional throwback style. This one is like traditional reimagined slightly. But once again, just like with Invictus Victory, when it comes to PASHA de Cartier, I'm gonna reach for the Parfum. Now this next one, I gotta be honest with you. Me personally, I've worn the Eau de Toilette version of this fragrance more. That's the first version of the fragrance that I bought. And that's the version of the fragrance that I feel most connected to, if that makes any sense. But this version is what sells the most. And as I've spoken to more and more people, and this fragrance comes up, we'll talk about which versions we prefer. It's really nerdy sounding, and most people seem to prefer this. It's Bleu de Chanel, the Eau de Parfum. Grapefruit, ginger, incense, amber, and cedar, some of the notes in the fragrance here. So like I said, for me, the EDT I've worn more of. A little bit fresher, maybe a little more youthful smelling, whereas the Eau de Parfum it's still fresh. It retains that freshness, but there's a little more depth to it. It's a little bit richer, and some people seem to gravitate toward that, or I guess more people do. So this one, out of everything here, is one that I personally would be more on the fence on and say, well, I don't know, I like both, about the same, but majority rules, I guess, as far as this one goes. Last up, we have a Parfum version of a classic fragrance, and this one's grown on me a bunch. Really enjoy it. Le Male Le Parfum. It's Jean-Paul Gaultier, of course. So the original Eau de Toilette, if I'm honest with you guys, it is not something I'd wear nowadays. It's just something that over time it became played out just for me personally. Now I know a lot of people out there still love it, still wear it, and that's awesome. But for me, I just, don't really want to smell like it anymore. But this one, I do. I don't mind this one a bit. It smells really nice. Great feedback from this thing. It's got that original DNA in here. I can pick it out when I spray it on. I'm like, yeah, that's Le Male. Yeah, just reimagined, emboldened a little bit. Cardamom, lavender, vanilla, and the iris in here. I think it smells wonderful. Big time attention puller, compliment grabber. It's wonderful for fall, wintertime, good evening fragrance, office safe as well. Just don't go too heavy with the trigger or anything like that. And as of right now, it's the Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance that I gravitate toward the most. I like this over Scandal. Not that Scandal's bad or anything, but this is better. And it's a bit of a departure from some of those summertime fragrances the brand comes out with that can be bubblegummy, which is fine. I actually like a bunch of them, but sometimes you get the new fragrance in for the year and you go, it's not too much different than the last one, is it? Just kind of a rehash. But this one, really enjoyed. There we go, 10 flankers that crush the OG. Let me know in the comments some fragrances that you guys think the flanker is much better than the original. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there. See you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.